Our next speaker today is Mr. Philip Bleser, who is the head of JP Morgan Global Corporate Bank in North America. He also serves on the executive committee of JP Morgan and Company. Previously, Phil was the CEO of Mid-Corporate Banking in America, which provides traditional banking services and investment banking products to companies across the United States. Indeed, Phil's background in the US banking system is extremely varied and rich. He served on the board of the Fashion Institute of Technology and is currently a member of the board of the Private Export Funding Corp, which is a division of the Exim Bank. Mr. Bleser will share with us his views to the opportunities as a global banker that he sees in Saudi Arabia. And he will also address some of the challenges facing the global financial sector.
Thank you, Thuman. I'm one of the few people in the room probably with my background in the Fashion Institute of Technology, and I have 3 daughters, 2 of whom are in the fashion industry, who when I see the Saudi women, I see some of the best dressed women in the world. So we appreciate all your purchases around the world. So I just want to recognize 2 of my colleagues who are in the room. Abdul Aziz Al-Sani is our senior country officer. If you just stand up and wave your hand here, if I can find you. There he is over here. And Tristan Attenborough, who's the head of our Treasury Services Group. Tristan, where are you? Here's Tristan over here. So we thank you both for joining us and being advocates for US-Saudi relationships globally. Thank you for the introduction, and Your Excellencies and distinguished guests, it's an honor to be here today. I wanted to spend a couple of moments giving you the view of how JP Morgan looks at the Saudi opportunity, and also, and giving it a little bit of our history first, look at the opportunity, but also stay on point and think about, what are the responsibilities, both us as a firm, working with regulators, working with corporations to make sure we have a sound financial system. And Dr. Al-Jassa said to me last night, I asked him, what do you think? What do you think we should speak about? He says, as long as you agree with me, everything's going to be fine. So after hearing him speak, we'll be on point with most things, but not all. Talk about Saudi Arabia at JP Morgan is kind of old history. We date all the way back to the 1930s when we financed the oil industry. David Rockefeller, one of our founding leaders, helped found the Saudi Arabian Monetary Authority in the 1950s, and we participated in the formation of Saudi Aramco. In 2004, we were one of 3 institutions to receive the first ever banking license issued to a global bank in the kingdom, and today we're very proud to be the only US bank who has 2 licenses, a commercial bank through SAMA and an investment bank through the CMA. At this moment in time, we're interesting history and really an amazing situation over in the Middle East. There's so much fundamental change going on. The economic diversification, shifts in revenue generation, demographic change, regional political shifts, all are creating tremendous opportunities for growth, and Saudi Arabia is at the heart of it. From an investor's perspective, it's a very exciting time and a very exciting place to be. Saudi Arabia is the bellwether for the Middle East. It boasts the largest stock market, one that's developing very rapidly, and almost half the market cap for the Middle East. The Saudi Arabian economy is the largest in the Gulf Cooperation Council, the GCC. And if you'll read the World Bank does a study every year on 180 countries around the world on ease of doing business, and Saudi Arabia is right up at the top in the top 10%. So a very exciting place to do business. The kingdom occupies a position of enormous importance in the world stage, both being part of the G20, but also its position in OPEC as literally owner of 1/4 of the world's reserves. It plays a crucial role in the stability of the global oil market, and as a swing oil producer, the kingdom has played a critical role in filling the gap in the shortfalls of Libyan crude production. It's no surprise that the kingdom is a market with many attractions. Not only is its economy fundamentally strong, current account and fiscal surpluses, large domestic savings, but it's one of the fastest structural reformers in the region. Its population is growing. It's incredibly young. The median age is 25 years old, and actually 1/3 of the population is below 14 years of age. But its most important attribute is this: a very prudent, supportive government and central bank. The government's countercyclical approaches to supporting the economy has worked very well. Conservative fiscal policies have helped the kingdom weather the economic downturn and achieve one of the lowest debt levels across the Middle East. It has committed more resources to education, health, research, and infrastructure than any other GCC country. And new measures announced earlier this year by the King to build over 500,000 housing units, increase wages, and create new government jobs will address unemployment and housing shortages. Alongside prudent policies, the government deserves praise for its present long-running development plans to transform an oil-based economy into a modern state integrated into the world economy with a dynamic private sector, increased transparency, and improved corporate governance. As part of this transformation, we applaud the efforts of the CMA and SAMA and believe they will have a fundamental impact on the health of the economy. In addition to opening the equity markets to international investors, which will create additional pools of liquidity, increase Saudi corporate valuations, and help them grow, considering the regulatory framework for new products such as convertible bonds and commercial paper will help Saudi corporates diversify their sources of funding. These measures are certain to provide additional liquidity and diversification of capital. But more fundamental change for good in business is coming as markets authorities open the door to innovation in the financial system, which provides momentum for development while maintaining a regulatory system to analyze and regulate new ground as it is being produced and processed and pioneered. It will also come as Saudi Arabian corporates themselves develop their own systems following best practices in corporate disclosure and investor and shareholder relations. But all of this has to be done the right way. And to do that, Saudi Arabia must turn to partners they can trust. Partners who can not simply provide new sources of capital, but who can connect KSA to other capital sources and to international markets the right way and at the right time. We have seen many equity and debt markets around the world where innovation led to overheating and where lack of systems and disclosure led to decreases in trading volumes instead of increases. So it is important that the banks, the regulators, the investors, and the corporations ensure that they collectively create the changes to the benefit of all. These are the moments when global banks are most fundamentally useful and effective. Banks with global networks, sophisticated risk management systems, and large balance sheets created with rich experience in local markets and local balance sheet and financing capabilities. Banks who can support the shift by acting as intermediaries as well as capital providers, who can both bring issuers to the market and meet investors' demands. Banks who can work with CFOs and treasurers here and in Saudi Arabia to help them assess their needs and give them the confidence to use the balance sheet and to find traditional sources of financing, meaning loans and project finance, but also while tapping capital markets. And banks with deep experience and knowledge of their clients and innovative approaches to solving problems to help them prepare for the future and achieve their goals. Global banks, however, are currently facing great challenges to that effectiveness. Around the world and all at once, policymakers and regulators are making countless changes to the rules governing our business. Many of the rules are still being defined. I flew down to meet with the head of Exim about 2 weeks ago, say, explain to us exactly how you expect some of these rules to work going forward. Many of the rules are still to be defined and are not yet clear, and we're very concerned that will they be applied evenly across all markets around the world. The combined impact of such change is potentially very large. We run the risk of ending up with banks with overcapacity, with overcapitalization, which could make it very expensive for borrowers like yourselves, but also to have developed shadow banks in places where regulation hasn't thought to go, or we wind up with regulation that's imbalanced, which at the end of the day is just not good for clients. We wholeheartedly support new rules that will help the markets function more safely, both in the US and everywhere around the world. The financial industry and global economy were clearly undercapitalized and had liquidity issues, and they both need to be increased. That said, JP Morgan continues to maintain our strong balance sheet. As you heard the boss say, we have a fortress balance sheet and we'll continue to have it that way. And we'll be conservative on our approach to how we do business. Yet, looking forward, it's unclear how all this is going to evolve. JP Morgan continues to participate vigorously in the rulemaking process and to ensure that our clients' needs are met. Regardless of the uncertain regulatory environment, we are deeply committed to maintaining a strategic partner of choice for the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. We are making investments there. Next year, we'll increase our headcount by about 50%. This expansion, alongside becoming part of the local Riyal clearing system in early 2012, illustrates our commitment to provide the best ideas and solutions to our clients. These clients are both in the US, based there, but also increasingly based in Saudi Arabia. Like the wide range of companies that we already support with cash management, trade finance, corporate and investment banking, and local lending, our aim is that you look to JP Morgan as the bank for choice for US-Saudi trade. As we hear over the course of this forum, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia is a strong, growing global player, and we want to play our part in supporting organizations as they develop benefits from the many opportunities that are growing in the region and in Saudi Arabia. Companies just like yours and people just like you. So we look forward to doing business with you. Thank you.